YouTube, what is up? We got an absolute perfect day here today in Indiana. 70, feels amazing. Not humid at all. It's been sunny all day. Wife was out doing some yard work, hanging out with the baby, man, just chilling at home. Super blessed, man. And then fortunate to be able to come out here. I probably have less than an hour, but that's okay. And what's really crazy is I have less than an hour to fish, and I brought 3 poles and now my new ginormous tackle box, which is so crazy that I brought all that for just less than an hour of fishing. But I think it's safe to say that I have a little bit of a problem. It's funny because I used to poke fun at my buddy for doing the same thing, because we would go to this small lake and take our boats pretty close to the house here, and he would bring his whole entire arsenal, which consists of like 15 poles and a tackle box with more stuff than your local bait shop. And I'd always poke fun of him, but turns out I also have the same exact problem. But that's alright. It's not the worst problem to have, I guess. So anyways, here we are, guys. I think I'm gonna go finesse tonight. I've been watching some finesse fishing videos and kind of getting pumped up, picking up some tips. And I got the Zoom, I'm throwing this chatterbait right now, but I'm probably not gonna keep this on. I got these Zoom finesse trick worms. And so yeah, I think tonight we're gonna downsize. We've definitely entered into the early summer phase, and these fish have definitely slowed down. But I'm hoping that since I'm out here in this this nice little window right before dark, that maybe we can run into a few. And there you go, that Zoom finesse trick worm. And I do have a little bitty bullet weight on here because it was kind of windy at the house down the street from here. And so I was thinking that I rigged this up at the house, kind of playing for the attack ahead of time. But I'm out here now and it's pretty calm, so I also really like going weightless on the spinning reel here, so we might have to go down to weightless, so we'll see. All right, didn't take too long at all. Definitely will expect my fair share of small guys on the trick worm here, but that's all right because you can just as easily run into the big ones too. So, but good sign though on the early bite. Come on, buddy. Number 2. That's a pretty decent one right there. Got him on this little Berkley Havoc creature bait. And this thing actually had some a couple more claws that came out on the outside, but I ripped them off just to make that profile a little bit tighter, because I think it looks more like a bluegill and a crawfish like that. And that was actually pretty cool because I caught that fish doing a new technique. Because if you watch crawfish underwater, when they run away, they just kind of, they dart and they take like long leaps. And that's kind of what I was doing, which I've never really done before. I usually just kind of, I don't know, fish them a little slower usually, but that was the first time trying that and got bit. So that was pretty cool. Go number 2 on that Berkley Havoc. It's a rare hook set right on the bottom lip. Boop. Alright, this worm's, or creature bait I should say, is about done for. But I'm sure most of you guys know, but whenever your worm is getting worn out, you just flip it around and use the other side. And if you have an anxiety about your little eyeballs right here being on the bottom, then you may need to deal with that, because I don't think the fish are too worried about that. Oh! That is why you don't reel up your bait too quick. He hit that almost at my feet just before I pulled it up out of the water, man. He came up and smoked that thing. Alright guys, like I mentioned earlier in the video, I was going to show you what I was talking about, and these are actually, when I'm catching these fish on, these Berkley Havocs pit bosses, little 4-inch guys. But I like to rip off these outside pinchers, and like I said, for me, that's just making that bait a little bit more finesse. And again, I think it makes that look more like a bluegill and a crawfish. So I really love that that dynamic attack on it. Man, I tell you what, man, it's been nice. It's always nice to come out and fish, but man, that less than an hour window, it's been a while since I've done that, and that this time has absolutely flown by, man. Wow, I feel like I've been out here for 15 minutes, honestly, and it is almost time to wrap her up. But it's all good, man. It is all good. Like I mentioned a lot in my videos, I definitely appreciate any windows that I can get to fish, because yeah, can't do it every day. So it's all about taking advantage when you can, being thankful for what you got. So I'm actually going to keep this video series going. This is going to be the 3rd video in the video series of why I love fishing. And this comes to my mind because it was just Father's Day the other day, and I wasn't able to get a video out on Father's Day. But it did make me think of another reason why I love this sport, and it's because fishing creates bonds and lifelong relationships. And again, being that it was Father's Day, it made me think about my dad and how my dad raised me to fish. And I am forever grateful for that, and I cherish so many good memories from that. And it's just something that we always have. I mean, just a couple weeks ago, I was over at his house, and I was about to go fishing that weekend, and he actually had fished at the lake I was going to, and so he started giving me some tips on some bass that he was able to catch there years ago. And we can always talk about fishing if all else fails. Yeah, and it's crazy how simple fishing is, but it seems to just bring people together. I mean, there's just something special about it, you know. And whether you're doing it with your buddy or with your family. I mean, I come out here, whenever I do these little after work videos, man, out here, I'm fishing by myself for the most part, because it's only for an hour, hour and a half, if that, and that's all good. But if I ever always have the option to go with somebody, I'd rather fish with a buddy any day. There's just something about it. Also too, shout out to all the, speaking of Father's Day, shout out to all the good dads out there that are taking care of business. It's not a guarantee to be a good dad. You really got to make sacrifice, dedication, and I'm going to share this video with my dad, so just wanted to tell you that I love you. Appreciate everything you did for me and my brothers. You definitely taught us a lot in life. You raised us up in sports, the outdoors, and I love you for it. But yeah, fishing creates relationships, man. Most of us have that fishing buddy. I definitely have that. My buddy Tommy, we grew up together, and even to this day, I mean, we were texting today about fishing, and we go back, gosh, to like middle school, and we started off fishing together, and that's never left. And like I said, if all else fails, I mean, we've even had disagreements in life about certain things, but we can always come back to fishing, and we can just talk about fishing for hours, man, and it's pretty cool. And so, if you go fishing, I encourage you to invite somebody to go with you. It can just be a good way to get to know somebody. And like I mentioned before, it's just always better to fish with somebody as opposed to by yourself. At least for me. I know some people may prefer that, maybe the peace and quiet of going by yourself, and I definitely get that too, because it's nice, but nothing beats fishing with a buddy. So that's what I'm gonna wrap it up on that, guys. So the other reason why I just love doing this is how it brings people together.